Tell me a story. Tell me a story, dog.
Transparency, this is take 2. We recorded a whole podcast and I thought it wasn't the best thing ever. So we ran it back.
Deleted it all.
So I'm going to tell a story I just told.
I'm not mad.
And we're gonna act like this is the first time we tell the story for the day.
And Justin almost told a story last night. I told him save it for tomorrow, and now I'm hearing it twice.
Here we are.
So tell me about what happened in Cancun.
So the year 2019, we are in Cancun, Mexico, playing Futures in the summer. And I am not yet graduated from college, so this is the semester before I moved to Texas. So it's a trip with me, Jody, KJ, Bahamian tennis player, my Davis Cup partner, and Amy Zhu, Evan's sister, who just won a doubles title in Spain last week.
Shout out.
Big up, Amy. KJ rented the car.
Follow on Instagram.
Yeah. KJ rented the car because no one wanted to drive in Mexico, and I guess he was willing. And Amy or Jody got the Airbnb. But it's like a regular day. I think it's after my second round, I remember. And I won. We left the courts all together. I remember going to Walmart. We all went shopping. We got waters, eggs, chicken, whatever you needed to top up in the fridge. Had a regular day. Like, you get back, you cook your food, you eat, you shower, everybody stretches, you play games, we play some dominoes, probably some cards, whatever. And I just remember I knew I had a match at 9 a.m. the next day. And so probably like around 10:30, everybody says goodnight. And it's me and Jody sharing a room. And then there's Amy upstairs and KJ upstairs in their own separate rooms. So we go to bed. Everything's normal.
Everyone's happy.
Yeah. I believe all lights are off in the house. I wake up in the morning at probably like 6:15, 6:30 because I have a match at 9 and we staying like half hour from the courts. So I wake up, I look around, like the lights are on in the hallway, which seems weird, but I don't think anything of it. I go to the kitchen, I'm making my eggs, and I look outside of the kitchen window and the car's gone. So I don't know if Jody's up and about or not, but I just remember talking to Jody and being like, yo, the car's not here. And his reaction is like, yeah, either KJ or Amy took the car to go to Walmart.
Walmart was close, so we always take Walmart.
Like close. So yeah, we chilling, whatever, doesn't matter. And then we see KJ come downstairs. KJ comes downstairs to make his eggs and stuff. So I think that's when you text Amy and you go, yo, if you in Walmart, you don't even say if you in Walmart, you say, yo, while you there, can you just get me XYZ? And she says, what do you mean? I'm not at Walmart, I'm upstairs. So then we all think she's joking. And then 5 minutes later, Amy comes downstairs with her bag ready to go to the courts. So that's when full panic sets in. Because now it's probably pushing like 7:30, 7:45. And I have to get to the courts to play my match at 9. And
the car's gone. There's no car in the driveway.
And now we feeling like, yo, somebody broke into this house, stole the keys, and took the car. So
we didn't argue, but like we tried to discuss who was the last person in the door, like the night before, because maybe we could have left. Because I think our front door had like a gate.
Yes,
it was like a door and then like a gate, like a little like those bars.
Yeah.
So could have happened. Someone could have left the keys in the gate or in the front door.
I'm only on KJ, dog.
But it's highly unlikely, I feel like, because you said the lights were on and we would have turned the lights off.
I believe that.
Because we don't spend time really outside in the living room in that Airbnb. But then we end up finding a nicer Airbnb with a gate and pool. And
so I remember now it's like, it's late. I have a match at 9 and now a panic sets in. So it's like, I got to pack my bag because I think Amy's going to stay behind to try to, I don't know, check out of the Airbnb or something. And then I think KJ has to go to the police station to talk to them and get the police report done. And then I guess Jody's going to come with me to the courts, warm me up, and I'm going to get ready for this match. And we are not going back to that Airbnb because we don't know if someone broke in or not.
No chance. Roll out.
Roll out. So, yeah, I remember I was playing Nick Chappell, probably the worst person to play in Cancun. I think I lost like.
And when you're thinking about things like a stolen car,
Yeah.
you probably were late to warm up. I can't imagine that we were on time.
And on top of that, there was no insurance on the car, so we're thinking like we don't know what's gonna happen. Like we don't know how much we owe the Hertz or whoever it was. End up losing like 6-4 in the third, and I'm out there battling in the hot sun, trying to get some support from my boy over here, Jody, who was on the phone the entire time. So I feel like I'm alone in the middle of the jungle in Cancun, dying of heat, and then losing to Nick Chopper. So all around rough day, and then at the end of that day, we ended
also lost like $300-400 each, having to pay back on the rental car.
Yeah, so then
you lost twice.
So, but silver lining was at the end of that day, we ended up moving into like a very nice Airbnb, like a gated community, like nice pool, same distance from the course, but like it was very comfortable. I think KJ
There's
left.
a little store on the corner too, so we can buy groceries.
They didn't have to go too far for groceries.
Yeah. The car stayed in the gate.
The car stayed in the gate. I remember KJ left like the next day. As soon as he filed the police report, gone. I remember him telling. Out. I remember asking him to be playing next week, and he was like, "Dog, and the next thing, smoking the Nassau." So KJ left immediately. You had even no more parts of the Cancun experience. That trip.
Dog, you're not even in this camera angle.
Are you serious?
I don't think so.
We're telling it from this angle.
Yeah, we're telling the story from this angle, then we're going to change to this.
And then let me finish then.
Sorry, my bad.
What did I say last time? I said like, so the moral of the story is, especially when you're traveling in foreign countries that you're not that familiar with, definitely get insurance on your rental car, and try to probably stay in somewhere that's secure. Like don't play with your life, because worst case scenario, if we delete the key in the door, and those people were worse people than the people who took the car, things could have gone west. So yeah, that's the time we got our rental car stolen in Cancun.
Good talk.
Yeah, and welcome back to the Changeover Podcast.
Y'all like our
set? Weekly grind. Yeah,
we have the Zaha jersey as a thank you to Chris and Reece, who's been editing all our stuff.
Yeah, the Crystal Palace boys.
Got some books. Make sure we can see the books too.
Yeah. But them books are nowhere near. Maybe in there. And then
Yo, this was the second time that we have recorded this podcast, because the first time around, Justin and Matthew were not happy. So I rushed to set up everything, and now we're a mess. But you're gonna take what you can get.
And we got our boys Roger, Rafa, and Djokovic there in the poster. I don't know if you can actually see it because of the lighting. We'll figure it out eventually.
This was some constructive criticism. This is us trying to problem solve.
Trying to do better. It doesn't feel like we're doing better right now. But
No. We were doing better. We were doing better at the beginning of the last, like maybe an hour ago, like maybe half an hour ago. But now we went back to not doing that good. So
growing pains.
Yeah.
So
anyway, we're in Sunrise, and it has been raining for the last 2 days. So it's been messy days. Justin ended up not playing this week. Why don't you tell them how it went?
Yeah, withdrew from the event on Monday morning. I didn't make it into the main draw. So there's two lists come out. So there's the main event where 20 players get in directly. And then I think this week 8 players qualify. So there's another list of qualifiers. So I would have been maybe 2 out of getting into main. So usually on the last day, some people withdraw, and you sneak in if you're that high on the list. But this time no one withdrew. So I woke up on Monday, and I was the second seed in qualies.
And you were hoping just to get an additional day or two.
Yeah, I was hoping I could have like a Tuesday or Wednesday start, so I could play a few more points on the wrist before going full out in the match. I was only able to play about 20 minutes of points on Sunday, and we thought it wouldn't make sense to jump from 20 minutes to about 2 hours or possibly 4 hours. You play 2 matches in one day. So we decided not to risk it, and I'm going to start the following week in Trinidad and Tobago.
On the hard courts.
On the hard courts, so a little bit of a change of surface. But how have your last 2 days been?
It rained. We got to practice Sunday.
Yeah.
The day before the tournament started. And then Monday I was supposed to play second on, so I was supposed to play around 11:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So woke up, got ready, went to the courts. But it rained all day. So we spent pretty much all day at the courts just for it to rain out. So didn't even hit the tennis ball. So we came back home, went for a jog, did some shadow swings, did some mobility stuff.
Netflix heavy.
3 or 4 episodes of Netflix. And then went to sleep. Then woke up this morning at 7 to get to the courts by 7. I think I got to the courts maybe 7:45, 8. But by the time I got there, matches were already delayed. I was supposed to play at 9 this morning. Then it went to 10, 11, 12. Then ended up going on probably after lunch sometime.
Yeah, well, I know when I arrived at like 12:50 or so, you were 4-3 up in the first.
Yeah. Then it started to rain. Like I was a set and 3-all. And it started to rain. So then we went, got some lunch.
Very windy today.
Ridiculous.
Rough conditions to play in.
Yeah, it was tough. It was windy, but like not in one direction. You didn't really know.
It was swirling or changing.
Yeah, so even on balls that would normally be an easy ball, like a slower ball, short ball, even those ones are not easy anymore because, if it's normal conditions, if it's slow, it's coming like in one trajectory, like one direction.
Yeah.
But then the slower you hit the ball here, the more the wind can take it.
Move,
so then the ball's moving, and then if you don't know which direction the ball's moving, I guess it would be easy if it was moving in one direction the whole time. So then eventually you can predict if it's slow and it's moving this way, it's gonna move.
You get a feel for it.
But today it was moving in every direction, which made it also tough to play the game style that I play because serving and volleying, I like the ball to come on a little bit maybe above my waist high. But today with the wind, if someone puts it slow, it's going to dip down over the net.
Yeah.
So, yeah, tricky. And I think I didn't commit that much at the beginning because of that. But I talked to my coach and at the break, and then he wanted me to just commit more. And I did a better job at it. But I know today was always going to be tricky, like with the clay, like slow clay. In qualies, they don't give you new balls. Well, you get new balls at the beginning of the match, but you don't get it. You don't have a ball change.
Yeah,
so
there's no ball change. So the balls get what we call like slow. So they get heavy, they puff up, and then they don't move as quick through the air.
And the clay was wet, so the ball's also a little bit damp the whole time
friction,
too.
So it doesn't really bounce as high, and it doesn't move as quick. So for people who play like him, he kind of wants the ball to be fast. So he didn't have that advantage today. So it was kind of a tougher path to get through.
Yeah, but I think even with that being said, like the first match was very messy, but my second match was a lot better. Like I found a structure, like a pretty clear system on my serve. Like I served more efficiently. I got more volleys that I wanted on the first volley. Just I guess it's still early in me doing this, so I'm not experienced all the situations as yet. So
you don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah. So like today when it got close, there was some situations, I guess, if my opponent's backing off and if they're a little bit nervous, no, the ball's not. Like, I'm not getting the ball fast towards me. They're going to hit it a little bit slower. So, serving and volleying and someone hitting the ball slow is a little bit more tricky. Look at me giving away all my... Yo, this is actually some of the feedback that I got was I have to be careful not to give away, like, my game plan. You know?
From who?
Doesn't matter. It's a valid point.
Yeah.
It's a valid point. Suppose I go to Trinidad next week and I play someone who listened to this episode.
Yeah, but anybody who's
But by
good,
next week, I'm going to know how to deal with that. So don't worry about it.
But anybody who's good, we know what they're going to do. And they just do it. You know?
Yeah, true.
I feel. But, yeah.
You think they don't know? You think, like, Djokovic don't know what Federer and Nadal is going to do when they play?
exactly what's going to happen. It's just, can you stop it or not?
Yeah, exactly. So what's going to happen is I'm going to serve and volley. Can you stop it?
No. The answer is no. Maybe today, yeah, but no.
But I guess this is a good time to talk about the response from everybody. So personally, I've had a lot of my friends and that play tennis and also from home that watch the podcast and they enjoyed it. So
if they're not lying,
my friends don't lie to me, bro. No, but I think at the beginning, now we have to try to do a good job. This is another piece of feedback. So all the feedback we have, don't give away tactics, improve our set, which we try to do.
I don't know, let me know. Let us know.
Well, we'll be back in a month because after this we're traveling. So by the time we get back, our set's going to be looking good. And then, where was I going with this? I can't remember the third feedback that I was about to give.
I supposed to read your brain?
Sorry. Sorry. Oh, this was the third one. It was to try to explain tennis explain, because a lot of the people who would have watched the first episode don't know that much about tennis.
Yeah.
So it was to try to give a better explanation on how the structure of professional tennis works.
Yeah.
So why don't you, I guess you can
I'll do
tell
my
us
best.
the difference between
I'll do my best.
futures and challenges. I guess you can start at ATP points, right? No, you start where you want to start. Go ahead.
Just bear with me. So there are 3 main levels of professional tennis. So there's the Futures Tour, which is the lowest level. Then you have the Challenger Tour above that. Then you have the ATP Tour, which is the highest, where you will see everything on TV, like from the Grand Slams and the Masters and all that stuff. So basically, to become a professional tennis player, you have to earn an ATP point, and those at the lowest level are awarded at futures events. So futures events have the lowest amount of prize money and lowest amount of points. And as you gain points in the calendar year, your ranking goes up. The more points you have, the higher your ranking is. And then when you hit, depending on the week, but when you hit like usually around a certain ranking, you're more likely to get into challenger events where there's more prize money, more points, and then you also get accommodation. So your hotel is paid for. Usually, I think if you're in the qualifying stage of a challenge event until you lose, I think the day after you lose, and then if you are in the main draw, I think at least until the Wednesday you have. Is that what it is?
I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday,
something like that. You get the accommodation paid from when you arrive until at least like the middle of the week, so that cuts on your costs. And then the same thing happens from challenges to ATP. So once you hit a certain ranking in the world, you're more likely to get into ATP events where you can play those bigger events and get more prize money and more points. And that's
you want to bet that I can do a better job in a quarter of the time as what you just did?
Please do it.
Okay, so boom, we're at the 15K Sunrise this week. If you win one match in main draw, you get 1 ATP point.
Boom.
And you'll be ranked 2,000 in the world, something like that. There's roughly, I would say, close to 2,000. I don't know, I have to check that, but 2,000 in the world. So the more ATP points you get, the higher your ranking will be.
Boom.
So number 2,000 in the world has 1 ATP point, and Djokovic has 10,000 points.
Something like that.
Yes. So the winner this week at the 15K in Sunrise gets 15 points.
Yeah.
Then the next level up is 25. So the winner gets 25. Then the next level up is the challengers. So it's 50, 50, 75? I don't even know.
It's 50, 75, 80, 90, 100, 110,
something like that.
Yeah.
And then it goes up to the ATPs. There's 250, 500, 1,000.
Then you have Grand Slams where you make 2,000 points. But one question though, if you could do that so simply, why you asked me to do it?
You were so confident in your ability to do it.
Before we started this, let's not lie. You said Justin's going to do the breakdown of the things. I did it well the last time.
But you have to admit that I did it better though.
That was way better. That's why I asked you if you could do it so well. Why you asked me to do it?
Okay, last thing. Also, the week. So if I get my ATP points this week, in 1 year from this week, are you going to text now in the middle of our episode? So if you get your ATP points this week, 1 year from this week, your ATP points are gone. So you have to. This is why the whole year is necessary. You need to accumulate as many ATP points as possible during the week. Yeah. And to talk about the cuts that Justin talked about, so I would say if you're ranked maybe anywhere between 500 and maybe 700, you can probably get into the challenges in the qualies. In the qualifying of challenges. So that's pretty much the next step for. That's the next step for me. I don't know what you've been thinking about when you're goal setting with Chris, but that's pretty much what I think about. Just trying to get enough points to get main draw in futures consistently and get enough points to get into the challenges consistently. And at that point, you get to save some more money because, like Justin said, you get to save money on accommodation. They pay for your room versus here we have to go to Airbnbs where our cars get stolen. So
and you should get some meals covered if you're in the event.
Exactly.
And then obviously you make more money too while you're playing those events. And you get more visibility as well being on they have a live streaming app, or there's a live stream within the ATP app, the professional tennis app, where people can watch you play. So you're more likely to get sponsors because people will be able to see the logos and stuff.
I think it's a big plus. It's a big step up to play the challenges, and also like just being in that atmosphere around a lot of other good professional players.
Yeah,
you improve a lot. Like I felt like the 2 weeks that I was in challenges this year, I improved a lot. So it's a big step up.
So it's a win-win.
The question was, we have a question, and it is what goes into decision making on scheduling tournaments.
So I would say we came up with 4 key, factors. Number 1 being cost. So basically what you can afford. So if you have an unlimited budget, then you will probably just schedule based on what's ideal for you in terms of the conditions, where you're ranked at the moment, and I guess like where you like to play. Secondly, there's travel. So a lot of guys like certain regions of the world. So like I know a lot of guys who, let's say, love to play in South America. They're just comfortable there. Maybe they're from that area.
South America has majority, probably all. I don't even know if, in the futures at least, I don't know if they have any hardcore tournaments. So a lot of the time it's mostly
clay.
slow surface, high bouncing, red clay.
Yeah, and then there are guys who like to stay in certain areas. I know a lot of the American guys tend to stay in the U.S. They're more comfortable there with the food, it's just if you schedule based on travel, it's probably because you're gonna schedule based on what you're comfortable with. You like the climate, you like the food, you have people that you know in the area, whatever it may be. And then there's points. So what we're talking about just now with the tour breakdown, you might play based on where you think you have the best ability to get points. So
that depends on the list, right?
Yeah.
So some weeks depend on what the schedule is. The cut could be really strong, or the cut could be really weak. So maybe some people would try to go to a place where they can try and pick up some.
Yeah, where they might be
points.
Seated, or maybe a challenger list got weak, and they feel like maybe the level difference between a 25K and challenger that week is similar, so they might as well go to the challenger where they feel like they can maybe pick up more points and have the opportunity to get into maybe the main draw there, where the point difference is actually huge. Because like I know from the qualies, if you compare the first 2 rounds of the main draw and 25K, if you win those 2 matches, you get 3 points. And if you just qualify in the challenge event, which is winning 2 rounds in qualies, you will get 4 points. And then if you win the first round of the main draw of a challenger, is usually between 7 and like 10 or 11 points.
So it's a much bigger reward for
playing less matches.
Yeah.
So a lot of times guys will try to sneak in where they can in challenges, and just for that point difference. Like you've done it a couple times this year where you ended up playing Cleveland and Monterey.
Monterey, yeah. I think I was in Oklahoma at the 15K, and I lost to the 1 seed there. Had a couple of match points, so the 1 seed Kyle Seelig was ranked around 400, I think, when I played him.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously I was pretty confident in how I was playing indoors. I was serving well. I feel like I was pretty effective with my forehand and slice. So I was in a good moment, and I had just signed up for Cleveland the following week. Didn't really have any intentions on playing. I was going to go back to Florida to train. But then the list out of nowhere started dropping off. So I said, let me just take a gamble and go. And I went, and it paid off. I just remember being very nervous playing the match because it was for 2 points, and I played on center court. So like I had, a handful of people watching, and it was like a stadium court in Cleveland. So a handful of people were watching the qualifying matches, and then I had some people watching on the stream. So in the back of my mind, it was not that easy to just focus on the tennis. So it was a very messy match, a lot of breaks. But yeah, the gamble paid off because I pulled through that match, got a couple of points, and then I changed my mentality pretty quickly because by the time I went to the next challenger in Monterey, I didn't think about all that other stuff. I could just focus on the tennis, tennis. So even though I didn't win my first round qualies in Monterey, I felt like it was a more positive result for my overall game because the level was better, and I felt like I could just focus on only tennis,
For sure. And I feel like for me, I want to do the same as well. If possible, the camera just died. That's right. Yeah, as if I can stay healthy for the rest of this year, I'd love to have the opportunity to play more challenges, and that's because I feel like the level has been pretty high in 25Ks. So I feel like the difference isn't too crazy between 25Ks and for sure challenger qualies, and then there are guys in main draws of 25 of challengers who have similar level to guys who do pretty well in 25K. So I feel like overall it's just a matter of getting your ranking in the right direction so that you can play those events more often.
Hopefully the next few weeks goes good for us so we can keep building the Trinidad trip coming up.
Yeah.
Couple hardcore events and then maybe try sneak into some challenges coming up.
And then lastly, what goes into decision making would be conditions. So that's usually surface, so clay, hard, grass, or I guess there's carpet, but then there's playing indoor. So you can usually indoor surfaces are faster. There's less I guess elements, so some guys do better with that. Me personally, I like to play outside more, opposite of Jody probably. And like say clay would be slower usually than most hard courts, and definitely than grass. And then you also have altitude. So like right now, Evan, this week he played in Leon in Mexico, which was like about 6,000 feet. So the ball's gonna be really fast in altitude, harder to control, but that's usually good for guys with big serves, guys who come forward more. And then for guys like me, I probably want to play more at sea level where it's slower, where my strengths, like I hit the ball pretty high and it's heavy and it's
annoying.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
So that would suit my game style more. So when it comes to conditions, you kind of play more with, you've looked to play in scenarios or in conditions that are more suitable to your game style, to try to use that as an advantage, and hopefully by doing that you can gain more points and work your way up the rankings. So I hope we answered that question in some sort of coherent fashion.
Yeah, I think Dan, so the question from Dan, we had to try to, I guess, answer it in a way for people like the audience that we have now, because we have a lot of friends, like I said, that don't really know the ins and outs of professional tennis, so we try to answer that in the best way for them to understand. But I think it's now almost 11 o'clock because we've done 2 podcasts tonight and we're only releasing 1. So
this one's better though.
Okay, this one's better. I think it is better besides the camera dying. And before this one dies, we should probably roll too.
Wrap it up.
So if you guys have any questions, just send it to our Instagram or YouTube, and we'll try and. We had a bunch of questions. Obviously, we can't answer all of them all at once. So we have a list that we'll try to get out in the next few weeks.
Questions or more suggestions, feedback.
Exactly. And if you guys enjoy the content,
like the thing, man.
Like the YouTube,
share it,
and subscribe to the YouTube too. So thanks for coming. Well, thanks for watching. This is why I messed up. This is also why we're doing it over because apparently I did such a bad job with this last time. Can you focus on the camera? Okay. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in Trinidad.